Right, hi guys. Thanks for joining us today on this starting a business webinar. We're going to give it maybe just another few seconds to see if we get anyone else logging in. So, theme of today is going to be starting a business. So maybe you're doing something on the side. Maybe you're looking to start your contracting business. Hopefully, we can give some tips. To kind of expedite that process or answer some of the questions that you might have. So let's kick it off. So my name is Ben Schaefer. I'm the sales team manager here at Crunch. I'm responsible for bringing on new business. So I speak to a lot of clients today. I've spoken to hundreds of people that have just started a business or are looking to start a business. So hopefully I can take some of that experience and answer some of your questions or pass it on to you guys that are here today. So it's going to be 10 essential tips in 10 minutes. It's not going to be a really long one today. Hopefully we're going to give you some questions and just some key areas that you guys might want to be thinking or asking yourself, when you're thinking of starting a business. We've got loads of different people joining us today from different backgrounds. So we've got a few contractors signed up, artists, writers, I think. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of something for everyone. At the end, we're going to have a live Q&A. So if there are any questions that you've got, there's a little widget, go to meeting webinar widget where you can ask your questions on the side, just on the right-hand side. So if you click in there, type your questions in, get them in at any point through the webinar, and I'll do my best to answer them at the end. If we don't, we'll make sure that we follow up with everyone and get everyone's questions answered via email as well. So a little bit about Crunch and what we do. We're a Brighton-based company, but we've got about 10,000 clients. They're based all over the UK, so we service everyone up and down the country. We help contractors, consultants, freelancers, small businesses. We're software-driven, so there's software where you can do all your bookkeeping, but then alongside that, there's also human support from a client manager, as well as a physical accountancy service. We would file your accounts for you as well. Sitting alongside that kind of core accountancy product, we've also got other things that we offer as well. So things like mortgages, business insurance, help with pensions, investments, things like that. So we've got a whole portfolio of products that we offer too. Now, throughout the webinar, I'm going to be referencing a few business guides, articles that are on our website. They're all housed within the knowledge section of the Crunch website. So I'll give you a full list and send out to you guys a full breakdown of the key things that I think are going to be relevant today, where you can, after the webinar, jump and link directly to them. But that's where I'm going to be pointing you after the webinar. So let's start, I suppose. So first things first is getting registered. So if this is something that's new to you, maybe you're thinking of doing something on the side, or you've been earning a little bit of extra money, you are liable to pay tax on any additional income that you've got. So you need to declare it. Effectively, what you'd be doing is operating as a sole trader and filing your personal tax return to pay the appropriate national insurance and income tax on the work that you do. There are different structures in terms of how you structure your business, and I'll come to that later on. But if it is just a small bit of work that you want to declare, you can register online, you can register over the phone, but it's definitely best to get that done so HMRC know to expect some kind of tax return from you. Getting branded. So things to think about are, what are you going to call your business? Is your business name going to be easy to spell? Is it going to look strange if you need a domain name? Have you looked at that as a single word format? Is that website domain name available? Things like that you're going to need to consider. If you've got a logo, you might want to protect that through copyright. If you're a creative and you're doing a specific piece of work, a creative piece of work, you could look at getting that trademarked as well. When it comes to social media is great. Social media is free, and it's a real clear path to your potential clients, but they all require, whatever platform you're on, a slightly different approach. Now, we've got a really good social media marketing guide, which I'll send you guys out, which you can have a look, and it gives you some some pretty cool step-by-step guides on how to approach social media. Next, we've got choosing the right company structure. So as I mentioned before, there are different structures. It can be a complex question. We get asked this all the time, and it's really based on your own individual circumstance. So if you've got a question you want to ask it in the questions box, and I'll make sure I'll try and get something out to you based on you bespoke. But you've got different ways to work. So you've got a limited company. It's generally good for people that are full-time business owners, maybe permanent contractors. You're going to have to do company accounts as well as personal accounts. Generally, it's the most tax efficient way, as it's going to be a full-time role for you. You've got the option of being a sole trader. So maybe you're just starting out, you're working on the side of your full-time role. You'd just be doing a personal tax return. So it's a little bit simpler in that sense. And then thirdly, you've got an umbrella solution. So we find that these are quite good for people that maybe doing a bit of short-term work, short-term contracting work. So maybe they're contracting for 2 or 3 months, not sure what's going to happen in the future. Maybe they're going into a permanent role after the short contract. And how that would work is you just get paid on a pay slip like an employee. It's the least tax efficient of your 3 options, but it's good if you're not doing it for very long. Other thing to consider is if you are a contractor or if you're looking to be a contractor and you're going to get work through an agency, you're going to need to be either umbrella or limited. Sole trader is not an option to you. So that's something to bear in mind too. Expenses, something that comes up all the time again. You can claim anything that's wholly and exclusively for the use of your business. Best advice is to keep any receipts that you've got either physically or keep them in an app. You need to keep these for 6 years. So if HMRC does, for whatever reason, need to see them, you need to have proof of these expenses tracking back 6 years. Our clients use an app called Snap, which means they can take a picture of their receipt and upload it onto our software. Again, there's a really good business guide that'll give you a bit more detail about what you can claim, so different types of expenses, which is probably good reading for you guys after this webinar too. What do we got next? We've got getting a contract. So a contract is going to map out the key terms of the work that you do. So it's going to have in there terms on when you're going to invoice, when you're going to be expecting payments. That's a really key one as well. You need to make sure that your clients are aware when they need to pay you. It's going to have a summary of the work that you do. If you're with an agency, this is probably something that will be created for you on your behalf, which you will just sign off. If you need to create one yourself, you're going to probably need to seek legal advice. It's a legally binding document. So like with all these legal types of things, you probably want to get a professional to have a look at that. IR35 is a consideration as well for contracts. It's a hot topic, and it's worth, again, getting your contract reviewed by an accountant to see if you fall inside of IR35, if any of you have questions on that. Next, we have got getting an accountant. So things that you want to consider when you're looking around for an accountant is what is it of value to you? So how are you going to be doing this? Is it going to be a face-to-face accountant that you want? Do you want someone that is local to you? Do you want something that's completely online where you can call and email? Do you want something that's once a year? Or do you want kind of ongoing support and help as your year progresses? Whatever way that you decide to do it, there's no right or wrong answer, but you will need to record whatever it is that you're doing on some kind of, ideally, digital software. There is a move that is going to be made away from keeping records on things like spreadsheets. They'll probably all need to be digital by 2019, 2020. When you're thinking about taxes, sole traders pay income tax and national insurance. Limited companies pay corporation tax and dividend tax. If you've got any questions on that, fire them in and we'll do our best to get them answered for you. Paying yourself. So circling back to that contract, make sure that that contract has got really clear payment terms. If someone isn't paying you, don't be scared to chase them. You've done the work, so get paid. We've got templates on our website that you can use to politely pursue people for late payment. So when you're thinking of paying yourself, how do you extract money out of your business? However you're structured, it's done in a very similar way, be it sole trade or limited. Really what you're going to need to do is have a business bank account set up. we can help with that. And you're just transferring funds from your personal account to your business account. The only real difference is that if you're a limited company, you're going to be paying yourself a combination of dividends and salary. But again, make sure that that's just recorded in some kind of software. So where are you going to work? One of the benefits of being self-employed is, generally speaking, you have the freedom to work when and where you want. So are you going to work from home? Do you have a dedicated space at home that you can dedicate just to work, but equally step away from when you want to stop working? Are you going to work in a public space like a cafe? If you are, give some consideration to the privacy of that space, just in case there is any sensitive data that you're dealing with. Another thing that works quite well for our clients are co-working spaces. So you can hire a desk or a space for a day, a week, a month, even like as little as an hour, if you want to get around some like-minded people and away from your home. We've got business insurance is something to think about. There are a few key insurances to consider. Here are some of the ones that we provide. We've got professional indemnity. So that's going to cover you if you provide any negligent advice when you're on site. You've got public liability, but that was professional indemnity. Public liability will cover you for claims that are made against you from the public. So maybe you're at work, you leave a cable on the floor, someone trips over that cable. Public liability would cover you in that sense to if someone was to claim against you. Employer's liability is something you'd need if you did have employees. So I suppose it's good to think about what you might need. Look in your contract. If you do have a contract through an agency or something, it might be a stipulation in terms of levels of cover. Something we offer. So if you do have any questions about it, you can jump online. You can speak to an insurance advisor and specialist, and they can advise you on your own particular needs. Lastly, we've got networking. So I think, like I said, being self-employed can be really liberating, but it can also be quite isolating too. So if you are self-employed, make sure you get out there, you share your experiences, and you get advice from your peers. So you've got people that might be a little bit further down the line from you that are able to give you some really kind of quality advice or support, or just a point in the right direction. And it's a good business networking opportunity as well. We run our own networking events here at Crunch as part of what's called Crunch Chorus. It's an online community, I suppose, whereby you'll get invites to all sorts of different things. It's completely free to join. You get invites to things like these webinars, business guides that I'm going to tell you about, invoicing software, and meetups as well that we run too. So if that's something that you guys want to get on board with, go to crunch.co.uk/chorus. Here's a list of all of the things that are kind of circling back to all the points that we've made today. This is going to come out to you in an email after this webinar as well, and we're going to send you a recording of the webinar too. So hopefully, if you need to go or whatever, you can come back to it and watch it again at a later date. So hopefully we've got some questions in. So let's have a look here and see what we can answer. So where should I start looking to help create a standardized contract for my business? There's all sorts of, if you've got a legal representative as stands, they should be able to help you. But if this is something that's new, there's all sorts of online legal services where you can get templated contracts that are pretty much knocked up, ready to go specifically for contractors or whatever your work might be. So I'd say that it's good to have a look around the line. We've got a business partner called Lawbite who are able to provide things like templates and stuff. So maybe check them out. There's a question here about, if I form a company, will I need to charge VAT? It's a good question. If you don't legally need to register for VAT until your turnover is £85,000 in a rolling 12-month contract, 12-month period. So up until that point, there can be benefit in it, but you don't have to charge VAT legally required to until you reach that point. But yeah, there might be benefit in you registering and charging before that. But it's a real case by case. It really depends what you're doing, where you're doing work. So that's probably a time where you want to get in touch with an accountant and have a chat with them. What else is here? I'm doing some work alongside my full-time job. If I register as self-employed, will I need to pay tax on everything I earn on the side? Yes is the answer. So you'll need to pay, well, you need to pay tax on the profits of that sole trade or that side job that you're doing. So you don't pay tax on everything, you just pay tax on the profit, the taxable profit. So money coming in, less money going out gives you the profit, and that's what you'd pay income tax on. Right, so like I say, I think I'm going to call it there, but we're going to send out a full list of questions and answer anything that I didn't get to today. We'll follow up via email and give you all the links that you need. If you're looking for more webinars, there's another one coming up this afternoon at 3. And then we've got a mortgage specific webinar coming in February. So if there's anything that you want to see specifically, shout us out at Team Crunch on Twitter and let us know what you want to see, and hopefully we can create some content for you guys. So look, thanks for joining us today. If there's anything you need, jump on the website, give us a call. Guys in the office are more than happy to help.